My name is Jeff Downing, and I'm the artistic director at Grandstreet Theater, and I am also the director for Les Miserables.
I'm Kevin Matthews, and I play Jean Valjean.
I am Stephen Pearson, and I play Inspector Javert.
Our story begins with the prologue, where we meet Jean Valjean, who is a prisoner, and Valjean has been in this prison for 19 years.
I am a constable during the prologue, and trying to keep all the members of the chain gang in line.
And this is the day that I'm freed.
I'm letting him go, but I'm also letting him know that he's still kind of a prisoner for life because he's got a yellow ticket and everyone's going to know that he's a convict.
And he finds life very difficult.
First, I come upon some farmers, and I farm with them like a day laborer, but they pay me very little because I'm an ex-convict.
I work on a farm, and Valjean comes to work there, and he only gets paid half because, he only deserves half.
And he ends up leaving the job as a farm worker because he's a criminal.
And then I go try to stay at an inn.
Valjean needs a place to stay, and I'm trying to be sympathetic, but my husband kicks him out and then drags me back into the inn.
And they won't let me stay there.
Valjean is taken in by a bishop.
And then I just about give up on life, and a bishop comes and saves me.
And he is fed and given a bed for the night.
I repay him by stealing his silver and running away, but I promptly get caught.
I come back again as a constable, bringing Valjean back to the bishop, because we believe he has stole the bishop's silver.
Bishop basically lies in order to save Valjean, and the bishop says that he gave this silver to Valjean.
And he gives me more silver, and then he tells me that I need to use this gift for good, and I need to change my life. And so I do.
The story then takes us a couple of years down the road, and Valjean has successfully created a new life for himself.
And I'm the mayor of a town, and I've no longer Jean Valjean. I've given up that identity.
Valjean has been very successful, and he has become sort of the overseer, the mayor, if you will, of this factory town. And he is responsible for several workers, one of them being Fantine.
So I fell in love, and obviously I didn't mean as much to the man as he meant to me, and he took off and left me pregnant, and I got a job at this factory and sent my daughter to live with some people that I had met.
She's a worker in the factory that I run as the mayor.
I receive a letter about my daughter, and the people who are taking care of her tell me that she's ill and they need money to take care of her, and there's this really nasty girl at the factory, and she takes the letter.
I'm not one of the very nice factory workers. Fantine works at this same factory, and I, out of jealousy or survival, rat her out to the foreman and expose the fact that she has a child.
Our season sponsor for 2013 to 2014 is Dubeck, Pfeiffer & Fox Law Firm. Rick Pfeiffer is a champion of the Helena community. He has been one of our most vocal advocates, and his generosity to Grandstreet Theater is phenomenal. Thank you to Rick and all the folks at Dubeck, Pfeiffer & Fox Law Firm.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana not only sponsored Shrek this year, but they sponsored Les Miserables as well. Even though they have been dealing with a large transition this past season, they have always made Grandstreet a priority and have been one of our strongest allies in the Helena community. Thank you for all you do for us, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana.
And she gets into an altercation, and I come and break it up. I'm just there for a moment, but as a result of that altercation and my failure to really get engaged, she ends up losing her job.
The factory foreman finds out that I have this daughter and I'm not married, and he throws me out and I get fired.
Fantine falls on some hard times.
Next scene is Lovely Ladies, and I am the first sailor who opens the song.
I am one of the 3 gentlemen that run on stage talking about how they've been away at sea for a long time and are looking for a little bit of action while they're in port.
And I'm really excited. I just want to just go get those women, and I want to do something with them. It doesn't matter. I've been on the ship for a long time, and it's time to get some action. So.
She goes down along the docks and she sells all her worldly possessions. She has nothing left to sell, but she's still trying to send money to her daughter.
And I try to sell my necklace, which is my one possession that has, any value to it. And then this lady approaches me and tells me that I have beautiful hair and I can sell my hair, and she'll give me all this money for my hair.
And I convince her to sell me her hair.
So I let her cut my hair off.
I'm whore number 1, and so I pick up a couple johns, make some money for my pimp, and I'm just kind of a down-and-out prostitute.
And then there's all these women there and this...
Where we show Fantine the ropes and kind of convince her to sell her hair and everything that all her dignity, so that she can be one of us and make the money that she needs to support her daughter Cosette.
It just kind of happens that I become a lady of the night.
She's reached the lowest point in her life, and the only way to go is with me.
Well, there's this really nasty, evil man that shows up, and immediately I can tell he's not like the other men that come looking for prostitutes.
Even though she's given herself over to this life of prostitution, she has no choice. This is the last guy she wants to go with.
And so I try to get away from him, and he won't let me get away. And then to a police officer, to Javert, he accuses me of attacking him when really I was just defending myself.
And when he finds out that she won't go with him and they get in a fight, he's going to call the police and he's going to ruin her life.
She's in ill health, and she's begging for help. She actually says that I give me mercy, and I show her none, and I send her off basically to die.
I intercede and tell him she doesn't need to be arrested. She needs to go to a hospital because she's not doing very well at that point.
At first, I'm really mad at him because he let his foreman fire me and, lets his foreman throw me out of his factory, but then he takes pity on me. He can see that I'm really suffering.
And then when this cart crashes on a guy who's dying, because it's very heavy and no one can do anything, Jean Valjean, who at this point is the mayor, is able to pick it up by himself and show tremendous strength, and that gets my head spinning and thinking about Jean Valjean.
Then later I go to the hospital where she is, and I'm with her as she dies.
Tells me that he will go find my daughter and take care of her.
He makes that promise to Fantine right before she passes away, and that sort of sends Valjean on another quest.
And that he lifts this burden off of my shoulders, and at that point, I know I can go. I can die because my daughter's going to be well taken care of.
Javert shows up and says, I know who you are. Javert has put the pieces together, and Valjean even admits to being who he is. He reveals his true identity.
The confrontation, where I'm going to arrest him, and
Valjean has made the promise to go and find Cosette, and so he says, you have to give me 3 days. I have to go find this child and make sure that she is provided for, and then, Javert, you can do what you will with me. So there's sort of this intense confrontation where Valjean is forced to knock out Javert so that he can flee to find Cosette.
Tim Ballweber and Ballweber Orthodontics have been sponsoring the Grandstreet Christmas show for years, and I am proud to announce that not only will Tim be sponsoring The Wizard of Oz next Christmas, but he will again be sponsoring the Summer Theater School as well. Thanks so much, Tim Ballweber and Ballweber Orthodontics. You brighten the smiles of Helena's kids in so many ways.
Mountain West Bank not only sponsored Cabaret this year and a show next year, but they purchased ad time for us as well. Their ad will allow us to announce our new season of shows and our season passes going on sale. Mountain West Bank, we wish you well in this transition with First Interstate Bank. We're going to miss you very much.
I pick up Cosette, and then we run off and hide somewhere.
My name is Jody Inbody, and I play Cosette in Les Miserables.
Hi, my name is Cora Ackerman. I play Little Cosette.
I play the adult version of Cosette.
Hi, my name is Taylor Cornwell, and I am playing Little Eponine. I am double cast, and if you want to see me, you can go to grandstreettheater.com.
I play Madame Thenardier.
And I play Thenardier.
The first time you see me, I am being horribly mean to little Cosette. And then my little daughter, Eponine, comes in, and of course she is just the apple of my eye.
I have the song Master of the House. That's where I'm introduced to the audience. And I have a bit of a recitative at the beginning, which establishes that I don't really see the world the way everyone else does. Thenardier is actually the villain of this play.
My husband is just useless to me.
Valjean has shown up and is fulfilling his promise to Fantine to take care of Cosette.
We talk him into giving us much more money than he would like to give us.
Because we're such great people that we're taking the word of a stranger that somebody has died and a girl in our care is now an orphan that we could sell like a slave or a cow. I mean, piece of cattle. That's what it is. We are the best people ever.
The story then jumps 10 years later, and we move to Paris in 1832.
And we now lead a gang in the streets of Paris.
I'm playing the character Marius Pontmercy.
Kind of crossing through the streets of the poor with my father.
I bump into my friend Eponine, and we were just sort of saying hi, sort of flirting, but sort of in a weird, like I love you like a sister sort of a way.
I play Enjolras.
One of the people that we attempt to attack and rob blind is Valjean, who I recognize.
And then I bump into Cosette.
And I run into, this guy runs into me.
It was just a casual bump, but it was a moment that changed our lives.
Yeah, we see each other. We're in love.
Javert shows up and manages to inadvertently save Valjean.
Find out from Thenardier that the person that they were setting up is, again, Jean Valjean, so I'm, again, conflicted.
And Enjolras is with Marius and the other students in the ABC Cafe. They're kind of their hangout, if you will. Little Gavroche comes in and he delivers some bad news that General Lamarck has died.
I'm Gavroche.
And Marius is sort of torn between, do I pursue finding out who this girl is, or do I join my friends and fight for this rebellion?
I send out a rallying cry to the rest of the people because I believe that the people will rise, that the people will come to our aid.
The end of Act 1. It's a song that closes the act. It's called One Day More. And I think it's my favorite moment because, for the most part, it incorporates every storyline into one moment on stage, with the exception of Fantine. We see all the principal characters on stage. The stakes are very high, but all for different reasons. And it's one of those rare moments where we do get to see all of these different storylines coming together. And it's musically written in a very theatrical way, where we see all those principal characters singing at the same time, though they're not necessarily in the same location. But I love the theatricality of that, and I love the way that it's written, in that several different musical themes from the first act have been pieced together and overlap in a very powerful way, in a way that's very moving and theatrical and exciting. The cast sounds incredible. It looks great.
Two other champions of Grandstreet are longtime sponsor First Community Bank, who sponsored Big River, and first-time sponsor George's Distributing, who sponsored Next to Normal. These are two of the finest businesses in Helena, and we hope to continue our relationship with each of them for the years to come. Thank you much, First Community Bank and George's Distributing.
Hi, my name is Julia Porter, and I'm a cast member of Les Mis, and I just wanted to tell you about this really cool thing that we are doing in conjunction with Les Mis. We're telling the story about poor people, in 1832, and, part of being poor is maybe not having enough food to eat, and that isn't something that has changed. We are not telling a story about the past, but the present. There are people right here in Helena who may go without meals, and so we're partnering up with the Helena Food Share and doing a food drive in conjunction with Les Mis. And if you bring us a bag of any of the top 10 items from Helena Food Share, we will give you $10 off of your season pass. You can bring the food anytime during the day, or if you just want to donate single cans of food as you're coming to the show, we're more than happy to take that as well. And again, all of it will be contributed to the Helena Food Share, helping people right here in our community.
I'm also the set designer for the show. The set design was a challenge because it needs to represent several different locations and not really one specific location at the same time. I needed something that was neutral enough to serve for several different locations. It needed to feel kind of dark and kind of gritty to represent sort of the urban decay that most of the characters are living in. But we go from place to place pretty rapidly and pretty simply. So it needed to be neutral in order to serve for several different locations at the same time. I also wanted it to feel very large and very epic. We needed to fill the stage with, sometimes 50 actors at a time. And so I went with a pretty open floor plan. And there's just sort of these big surrounds. We have these three false prosceniums that are textured and painted as sort of decaying stucco or stone with an upstage wall. So I wanted to take advantage of the height of the space so that it felt sort of overwhelming, but leave the floor space pretty open so that the actors could move and function in the space when large group scenes were called for.
My name is Fred Cobb, and I'm music director for Les Miserables at Grandstreet Theater.
And join in the fight that will give you the right to be free. Do you hear the people say?
This has been a real joy and a treasure. This practically has directed itself. Everybody really wants to do a great job, and they're trying so hard and working so hard. It's been great. Yes, I will be handling the low brass on keyboards and the supporting strings. We'll have two violins and a cello, trumpet, flute, who also plays piccolo, and recorder, and oboe, if it sounds okay, and alto flute. We have drums and bass. One thing that I'll play harp and stuff. You'll hear a lot of other instruments that I haven't named.
I'm Natalie Jordan. I'm the costume designer for Les Mis. I was excited when I heard we were going to do Les Mis last year. Not only do I love the story and the music, but it's a period of time that I hadn't costumed before, the early 19th century, about 1815 to 1834. There are 6 costumers and probably another 6 sewers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5 looks.
I have 2 costumes, 4 or 5 different costumes.
I have a hat. Oh, I have a hat.
I have about 6.
I have 5 costumes.
So I'm not 100% sure at this point. 3. I have the greatest costume, too. Denise, who's one of the costumers, made this costume. It's got like this high-collared shirt and this cool top hat and the vest and a jacket and pants and stuff. He just looks sweet, and he is a pig.
Hi, I'm Cal Poole, the managing director here at Grandstreet Theater, and a number of businesses in Helena contribute to Grandstreet with in-kind donations. That means they provide us with a service that we would otherwise have to pay for. Some of them help us with our printing, like Action Print, Gagnon, or Morrison Merrily. And some, like Information Services or SRA Design Studios, help us with our technology needs. We get services donated from all kinds of businesses around town, businesses like Anderson's or Mullen, Garden Works, Nitro Green, Marriott Residence Inn, the Sleepy Rooster, the Common Market, Lewis and Clark Brewery, the Parrot, Burton Ernie's, and Van's Thriftway. We hope that you will support these wonderful organizations and give them your business as well.
I'm very excited for this upcoming season.
Phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, you have to come see the Addams Family because it's wildly hilarious.
Don't miss a show.
For Becky's new car. That one looks amazing. Our town, it's truly one of my favorites.
It builds community, and it's so much fun.
Oh my word, do I have to pick just one?
I am absolutely thrilled. You need to get your tickets. These shows are going to sell out fast. So get your tickets and come audition. It's going to be a great season.
Act 2 mostly follows the student rebels and their construction of this barricade that they build out of old furniture and chairs and doors and trunks and things, and their battles with the police and the military. It does not go well.
The people didn't rise.
Eponine, and the thing is that I kind of, well, it's terrible, because I give her this letter. She shows up at the barricades where she really shouldn't have been, dressed as a boy. And, you know, I say, Eponine, you got to get out of here. But, well, before you leave, could you take this letter to Cosette? But then when she's coming back to tell me, she gets shot, and then she dies. And it's
your fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's mostly my fault.
Mostly.
I see Marius as someone who could take care of Cosette when I'm gone because I'm getting older.
And I send home the women and the fathers because I know that I'm sending these young men to a battle of their death. And just when you think that it couldn't get any worse,
I get shot.
I literally have to hold Gavroche in my arms and watch him take his last breath.
Well, some of them are going to die, and they probably have valuables on them. Maybe a watch, maybe a ring, perhaps some gold in their teeth. And we're going to collect that because it shouldn't go to waste. You know, it's recycling, people.
I get killed because it just, a lot more people came prepared because in the first battle, there weren't as many army men to kill us, but then in the last battle, their troops have tripled.
Everyone is dead except Marius, who's been injured, and I was injured, but not very badly, I guess. So I pick him up, take him to the sewers.
The barricades have been fought, people have died left and right, bodies are in the streets, the gutters are running with blood, and I am out like it's Christmas and I'm collecting presents. It's fantastic. So yeah, good people, good people.
The story concludes with the wedding of Marius and Cosette. I do believe that the story ends with hope, that this couple has survived and endured. I do believe that there is optimism at the end of the piece. Valjean, in his final moments, does reveal to Marius and Cosette who he truly is. He tells them the details of his past life. He has written this all down in sort of a confession in a letter that he gives to Cosette before he passes away. So ultimately, his quest for redemption, his journey to better himself and become a better man and to sort of repay the opportunity that was given to him by the bishop and, in a sense, God, has been fulfilled. So even though there are very few survivors at the end of the story, it does end with hope and optimism.